Alright, I'm going to show you how to use some dimensional constraints in Inventor now. So I'm going to go ahead and click New again, and we're going to use a standard part file. And when I do that, I'm going to hit to create a new sketch, and I want to create a sketch on my YZ plane. And I'm going to get my line tool again. I'm going to start right here at the origin, and I'm going to draw a line up. And one way that we can put in dimensional constraints is before I click and set that line, I can just go ahead and type in a value. So I typed in 0.5. So that's one way. Another way we can add dimensional constraints is just by drawing the shape of the object you want. So let's say we want an object that looks something like this, and go ahead and do it with me. We can then use the dimension tool. If I click that line and that line, I can get an angle. I'm going to make that angle 130 degrees. I'm going to click and I'm going to make this line segment dimension, make it 1 inch. I can then also select this point, and that will give me the same type of line segment, and I can make that dimension whatever I want it to be in. So let's make it 0.75. So there we have an object constrained by dimensional constraints instead of geometric constraints. And we know it's fully constrained because down here in the right hand corner it says fully constrained and all of our lines are blue. One other dimensional constraint I'll show you, if I just draw a circle over here, notice how my circle's green. I can click to add a dimension to it, and so I'm going to click and place that dimension. Let's make it a 1/2 inch and hit enter. I can go ahead and hit escape then, and when I look at that geometry, it says 2 dimensions are still needed, and so it doesn't know where the circle should be placed in this direction along the y-axis, or this direction, along the y-axis, or this direction along the x-axis. And so I could then use a constraint, and maybe I want to place that circle right here on the origin point. When I do that, it shows me that the circle now is fully constrained because all the lines are blue, and I've told it where to line this circle up on the x and y axis. One more tool that I'll show you here real quick is in Modify. I can click the Trim tool, and I can trim some of these lines. And I want you to see how when I did that, some of these dimensions have changed, and so now our object is not fully constrained again. So once you have something like this drawn on your screen, go ahead and take a snippet of it and turn it into the LMS to Canvas.